Inevitably, what happens is this. One person will stand up, and then everybody else will stand.
Throughout history, the power of change rests in the actions of one person. Our entire independence movement began with a man named James Otis Jr., a man who stood up, who as a government employee quit his job because he could not participate in the government overreach violating the rights of the people.
I mean, this is a recurring theme about the power of one person. It is astounding.
Every period in history that involves monumental change, good or bad, has always begun with one person taking a stand.
Every turn of event through history hinged upon a single person. For good or for bad, it always came down to a single individual.
One man reaching out to others to educate, to inspire, to ignite them into action. If it had not been for James Otis Jr., one man standing up and saying, "No more. Not only will I not participate, I will not comply, and I will teach others the power of noncompliance as a right of the people, the power of one to reach many, to unite under the banner of liberty, to the securing of the rights of every individual today, tomorrow, and for posterity."
It is human nature to look for a leader. It is human nature to stay where you're comfortable.
We can't wait for what is the group going to do when we get 100 people, when we get 1,000 people together, boy, then we can do something.
But sometimes, through a course of events, through a long train of usurpations, we have to become uncomfortable. Change will not happen without movement. And when we've been sedentary, when we've been comfortable for a very long time, movement is uncomfortable. We have been training our generations in the wrong information about government. We have been training them to be submissive and compliant to authority. We have forgotten that we, the people, are the rulers over government, and we have allowed government to be the rulers over people. If we truly want that to change, we have to stop looking for leaders and start being them. I believe you're here today with us. You have sacrificed this period of your time today because you believe that America is worth fighting for. I believe that you're here today because you recognize on this level that it's going to take a certain amount of sacrifice.
Unanimously, the groups that I speak to all believe, all know that our governments are out of control. Right, left, liberal, conservative.
But everywhere I go, what do you think the most asked question I get is? How do we fix this?
We have activist judges. We have governors that act more like monarchs than representatives of the people. We have sheriffs who blindly enforce law. We have county commissioners and city councilmen and state legislators that simply ignore the people and trample the rights of their constituents. We have a Congress that seems more concerned about politics and special interests than the liberties of the people.
How do we fix this? If we had been teaching history properly for the last 100 years, if we had been teaching the Constitution properly for the last 100 years, we wouldn't have that question. We wouldn't be where we are today, mind you. But we wouldn't have that question because we'd know exactly what to do.
I started reading the Constitution itself and what it means. And I thought to myself, we weren't taught this in law school. We don't teach this in grade school. We don't teach this in high school. We don't teach this in college. These are things that anybody can get on their cell phone. They can read this. They can know this. Why is this information being hidden from us? Why aren't we being taught? And I want to teach you
to equip you,
so you can know the truth about limited government power.
to inspire you, to ignite you, to be the leader your spirit is calling you to be.